G'day legends, it's time for a roundup of some of my favorite plugins that I've been using through 2024. So if you're interested in knowing what plugins I've been using in my mixes and regularly, then you want to stick around and check this video out. And if after you watch this, you want to grab any of these plugins, there's going to be some links in the description below. They'll take you over to Plugin Boutique's site. You can grab some killer deals at the moment. It's Black Friday. And if you watch this video at a later date, it's definitely worth checking out those links anyway, because Plugin Boutique always have great deals. So let's get into it. So the first plugin I want to show you is Kive Audio's Complex 760 Limiter. Now Kive Audio have a great range of plugins that sound awesome, but I just want to show you this one in particular. I love the way it sounds on drums when you want to give them a bit of extra energy. It's a real beast. It can make your drums sound absolutely massive, and when you use it gently, it can sound awesome on things like the mix bus as well. UAD have some amazing plugins. I love using all of the different 1176s and the LA2A. They're always plugins that you'll find in my mixes, but I've also really been loving the LA3A on guitars at the moment. So check this out. I love the way the LA3A just glues guitars together. It sounds awesome on acoustic guitar as well. Thickens it up and glues it all together. Another UAD plugin that I absolutely love is the Studio D Chorus. I love what this does to guitars and synth sounds and vocals as well. So check it out on this lead guitar. The Studio D has this really nice, subtle, smooth quality about it. And there's a bunch of other UAD plugins that I love using, like the Fairchild compressors, the Lexicon 420 and the 224, really great sounding reverbs. I also love the Brigade Chorus, the Pultec EQs, and many others. Another invaluable plugin that I use all the time is Synchro Arts VocalLine Pro 6, and I use this to tighten up vocals, and it saves me a whole bunch of time because I don't have to manually edit. This thing sorts it out for me. So check this out.
That we're weaker alone, but together we're strong. We're weaker alone, but together we're strong. That we're weaker alone, but together we're strong. We're weaker alone, but together we're strong.
Super powerful plugin for just editing vocals, matching the timing, matching pitches up as well. So if you have double track vocals, you can match the pitch of your double track to your lead vocal and just make them sound way more in sync. It's a really awesome plugin for just saving time and cutting down on the amount of time you would normally spend on editing. Brainworx makes some really awesome plugins, and there's a couple that I use in my mixes all the time. So let me show you these ones. If you've watched my channel before, you'll know that I use this plugin all the time, the Brainworx Console SSL 4000E. It's just become a real staple in my workflow. Anytime I need to dial in a sound, do it quickly and also musically, this is the way to do it. You've got the 4-band EQ. You can switch between two types of EQ in this. You've got filters, you've got compression, and you also have an expander and a gate. It's got everything you need. Just a really great and easy plugin to use for getting good sounds and working fast. Another great one from Brainworx is the Black Box. I love using this on drums to just smash them up, add some really cool saturation to them, but also on things like synth. If a synth's a little bit boring, using some saturation of the Black Box can make it really exciting. Just a really cool way to make your synth sound a little bit more interesting. So here's one more Brainworx plugin that I really like to use. It's the Ampeg B15N. It's an awesome bass amp VST. It's got heaps of character and a great tone, and as I just showed you, you can drive it and get a really nice gritty sound out of it as well. Just a really good all-rounder for great bass tones. And another Brainworx VST that I use all the time is the Bass Dude amp. This thing sounds really cool. Generally, I'll just plug straight in with my Telecaster, get some really cool tones out of this. I use this a lot. SSL have some really great plugins. If I'm not using actual hardware, I have the SSL Bus Plus and the Fusion over here. If I'm not using those and I'm just doing an in-the-box mix, I'll typically grab the Bus Compressor 2, and then I'll use the SSL Stereo Image to add extra width to the mix, as well as the SSL Transformer if I want to add a little bit of extra sparkle to it. So really great plugins for adding some liveliness to your mix. The SSL Fusion plugins are great for on the mix bus and mastering, but you can also use them in other places in the mix as well. Another favorite SSL plugin for me is the X Saturator. This thing just adds extra life to anything you put it on, particularly on drums. It sounds awesome, as well as on vocals when you want to give them a little bit of extra grit and attitude. But check this out on the drum bus. Just turning it on without playing with any of the settings, just listen to what it adds to the drum. Without touching any of those settings, it's already instantly added weight and punch to the sound. Have a listen to what it sounds like when we drive it. A plugin that I've been using since the dawn of time is Melodyne. I've been using this forever, and in particular Melodyne Studio. And the reason I like Studio so much is because I can see all of the vocals in the one window, and I can jump between them and edit them all together. It just makes tuning and editing vocals a whole lot easier, being able to see everything in the one window.
There's dark lines in those places we had, but I don't see your scars.
Of course, we have to mention FabFilter because I use FabFilter plugins all the time. Pro Q3, Pro MB, Saturn 2, Pro L2. These are 4 plugins that get used in my mixes all of the time. Pro Q3 is basically everything you need in a digital EQ. You can create as many bands as you want. You can make dynamic bands. You can jump between EQing on the side, EQing in the mid. You can EQ on the left. You can EQ on the right. You can pretty much do whatever you want with it. I've got Pro Q3 on the vocal bus with just a single band, doing some dynamic EQ and just cutting anytime it gets a little bit harsh.
There's dark lines in those places we had, but I don't see your scars. For all those times we've...
Just a really cool way of just warming up the vocals and dealing with some harsher upper mids. Pro MB is like the Swiss Army knife of multiband compressors. You can pretty much do anything with this. Great as a de-esser. It's great for multiband compression on your mix. It's great as a snare drum depleter. Check this out on the snare drum. It's got many awesome uses and you'll find it in my mixes all the time. Pro L2 is still one of my favorite limiters for just finishing off your track, getting that final bit of loudness out of it before it's ready for release. The different styles within Pro L2 create a different sonic signature that you can add to your tracks. It's really great having all these different options to choose from. Saturn 2 is an awesome multi-band saturator. Check it out on this 808 bass where we're going to saturate the low mids to help it cut through the mix a bit better. iZotope's Ozone 11 is an amazing mastering suite. It's got everything you need to master a track and make it sound awesome. This is a great all-in-one mastering suite, and it also has a built-in AI assistant to help get you started, and it generally does create a pretty decent starting point, which then you can tweak. iZotope's RX11 is a must-have if you're working with audio where you need to repair it. Even things like mouth clicks, when you can hear a singer's lips pulling apart and you can hear it as a sort of sounds, this plugin is amazing at just removing those sounds so you can have a clean vocal that's no longer distracting.
No, I was dreaming and making plans. I guess you thought that I was scheming. No, I was dreaming and making plans. I guess you thought that I was scheming.
It's like magic. That little mouth click that was between the two lines is gone. You have things like breath control, de-click, de-clip, de-crackle, de-ess, de-hum, de-plosive, de-reverb, dialogue isolate, guitar de-noise. All of these things are really powerful and really useful if you have some problematic audio. RX11 has saved so many projects for me. The D16 repeater is probably one of my favorite delays to use on vocals. Check out how cool this ping pong delay sounds, particularly because we've added a little bit of spread to it.
Yeah, you're long, long gone.
Sounds so good. And last but not least, XLN's RC20 Retro Color. This thing's awesome if you just need to add a little bit of vibe, a little bit of interest to a sound, or if you want to completely go nuts and create something really crazy. Baby Audio Smooth Operator is a plugin that I use all the time just to deal with harshness or resonances that are kind of getting a little bit out of control. Putting Smooth Operator on a problematic sound can really help things out. In this mix, I'm using it just to rein in a bit of upper mids in the vocals, just to smooth them out a little bit.
Get out so fast. No, I was dreaming and making plans. I guess you thought that I was scheming and still believing. Reading the same page, we got two different meanings.
And of course, the full Soundtoys bundle is always getting used in my mixes. These plugins have stood the test of time. They sound great and they get used all of the time. I love Devil Lock for just destroying drums, getting some really crazy distorted sounds. Micro Shift for anything that I want to make sound wide and add a little bit of chorus to. Echo Boy is an amazing delay plugin as well. Use that all the time. And Little Plate and Super Plate, just really nice, lush reverb sounds. As well as Decapitator and all of the other ones. I use those all the time. They're amazing. So there you go, guys. That is a lot of plugins that I've been using in my mixes throughout 2024. There's definitely lots of other ones, but they're kind of the ones that sort of pop up regularly and get used all the time. And remember, if you want to grab any of these plugins, there's going to be some links in the description below. Head over to Plugin Boutique's website and check these out. Grab yourself a deal while you can. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support this channel, make sure you check out the link in the description below to my website. Go grab yourself a sample pack or a mixing course. It's Black Friday right now, so you're sure going to find a deal over there as well. If you're interested in knowing the plugins that I had in my previous roundup, then check out this next video coming up.